It's the JaeTae Show. It's the JaeTae Show. It's the JaeTae Show. It's the JaeTae Show.
Season's greetings. God bless you to each of you. Welcome to the JaeTae Show. Hey, welcome to the JaeTae Show.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the JaeTae Show.
All right, y'all. We are resuming chapter 11 of Crushing. We have an awesome broadcast planned for you. In fact, as we are, excuse me, welcome to the JaeTae Show. As we are opening up, we want to do this first and foremost. We are finally pulling up our next fundraiser for the J Bass Ministries songbook. And y'all, I've got so much work to do. And as I have counted it up, it's going to take several $1,000s to complete this work. And so anything that we can think of to try and help us get those funds together. I don't want to finish this life and it be said that I did not complete all that God has put in my heart and my mind to do, especially with this music. The hours and the time it takes just to write a song and to flesh it out and then to get it recorded. So I'm looking forward to it. I love going in the studio. Those that work with me in the studio know that we move quickly, we get it done, we move effectively because we take that time seriously. And so each key is $20 and we have 88 keys. So you know that is several $1,000s, which would help me get through at least one volume of my music. And so thank you in advance for your help and your support in the JBM Keys fundraiser. All right, JaeTae, do you want to say anything about the JBM Keys fundraiser? Not live. What do you mean not live? Uh-huh. Hello?
Are you live? You're not live on Facebook?
No.
Oh, okay. What was your
What would that
question?
have made a difference?
Well, I was on it trying to share it. That's when I realized you was alive.
Oh, girl, I asked, Lord have mercy, JaeTae. Y'all welcome to the JaeTae Show, okay? No, we are not live. I'm just recording on Zoom.
Okay.
And so, what do you have to say to the people about supporting the JBM Keys fundraiser?
It's self-explanatory. Y'all support. Seeing $20 in cash or Zelle or Cash App.
And one reason I did want to say too that I printed out this poster board is because it is my intention, once this is filled, to save this as a reminder of those who said, J Bass, I believe in your music enough to support you in this endeavor. There is a saying that I've been saying for quite some time, and it's just the truth. What I'm able to bring home as far as in my service helps take care of my household. But as it pertains to the music and the dreams and the goals, I have to fundraise. I have to think of creative ideas in order to get the money for that. And so we don't have donors. We don't have specific sponsors just yet. If you would love to be a JBM sponsor, we would love your support. Especially if you believe in the music, you see what we've been able to do in 6 volumes of our music, and just imagining with help and support what even greater we would be able to do. And so thank you in advance so much for your support. And now we're going to get into the Crushing, chapter 11 of Crushing by Bishop Jakes. All right, JaeTae, you want to get it started?
No, because I don't know what page.
Together. Page 192.
Only thing I have highlighted, God will move us to accomplish his ultimate goal and purpose in and for our lives. And then I highlighted this long paragraph. I'm not gonna read it all. I grant you that it might be difficult to run. I'm sorry, wait, let me start that over.
What page are you on?
192, right?
Oh, well, you know, it's after A King on the Move. We'd already done that part of it.
Okay. My bad.
That's
So
okay.
I just highlighted the last words. I can honestly tell you that God's relocation for you to a place of solitude so that he can prepare you for what he has called you to do. If you're looking around at the various aspects of your life and see unambitious isolation, know that you are being groomed for something special. And the master wants to, what's that?
Interfere in the process.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's what I have
that was
highlighted
a
on
couple of things.
182 and 183. 192 and 193. Pull it together,
And yeah, I highlighted on the end of 192, the making of wine is a process that is just crucial to know, and the making of our lives is a process. That's what it made me think of. And even though we want certain things right away, the truth is it takes time, and really being able to come to grips with that is not easy. It is not easy, especially in this generation that we live in, but we do understand that it is worth it once you have reached it. God's relocation of you said this, but you also use and see ubiquitous isolation or seclusion and know that you are being groomed. Just the thought of that, and that it is isolation and seclusion that lets me know I'm being groomed for something special. Oh, we talk about the times that we've been isolated and secluded. Sweet Jesus. So what is it that you really have in store for us to do? And my thought is, God, please prepare me to be a sanctuary. Ooh, all right. I don't have anything on 194. Do you?
On 194, I have could our constant moving and wandering actually have a point? And then I have chosen for what? Highlighted. That's what I have on 194.
Well, it's a very interesting highlight. Why did you highlight those? You know, we don't just read it just to read it. What came to your mind when you hit highlight?
I mean, some things I do just highlight.
Oh,
I feel like stand out. It made me think about could our constant moving and wondering actually have a point? Like when you are going through and you're wondering if your labor is in vain and all that you're doing is showing up and going to, is it even worth it?
Oh God.
But he shows that you are chosen and that your labor is not in vain, and you will reap the benefits of being faithful.
Okay. Well, on 195, I have, we were created to serve in love. We all worship something and worship him instead of what previously mastered us. He is making us free to worship him and be in relationship with him. You know, just thinking about that is part of why God brings us through, that thinking about the praise, the thanks, and the worship prompts. We ought to be able to remember what the Lord has done and that lead us to a place of worship. Seriously, when we have the record, we've been talking about having a record with God, history with God. When we have a record with God, it really brings on that place of worship. And that's what God did with the children of Israel when he brought them out. He brought them into a place where they could see him absolutely working in their lives with beyond a shadow of a doubt that they would know it was him and that would lead them into a place of worship. And I feel like even in this, that is what he is doing in our lives, that is drawing us closer to him in worship because of how often we have been pulled through and even being able to have life-changing words like this. All right. So that is mine for that.
I highlighted a few things on 195. I'm just going to read. God brings you out of what he held you. What was held. Wait, y'all. Shoot. God brings you out of what held you so that you would be brought into the arms of the one who loves you. Okay. That's just, I think that was something to highlight to say.
That certainly is something.
And then in the eyes of God, he is not freeing from us. He is making us to be free. Free from what? Free to worship him and to be in a relationship with him. I think that it made me think, I highlight this because it made me think about when you're getting out of a relationship, not necessarily a relationship like intimate relationship. It could be a relationship with a job, a relationship with friends, relationship with anything or anybody. When you go through a separation, it's like a grieving process. And in that time, that's when you're supposed to, I feel like, see, why God brought that person into your life. Like he brought him into your life for a reason. And in that time is when he wants you to have that relationship with him to see, so that if it ended on bad terms, then pray and see what God wants you to do so that mistake won't be happening again moving forward. That's what I feel like. That, and like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship, it could be a job. If you left a job for a reason, you just never know why God removed you from that place.
Okay. Well, I don't have anything again until page 199.
Okay.
96, 197, 198.
Okay. I just have to see what I'm gonna share. And bearing the brokenness. Bishop says the best way to show anyone that you really love them is to be constantly in their presence. I feel like that's just not in the natural form, but that's in a spiritual form too. To show God that we love him, he wants us to read the word, worship him, and seek his face. And the same thing in the spiritual, in the natural, to show yourself worthy to a person. You know what I'm saying? You have to let your guard down, you know what I'm saying? And just be open and vulnerable with a person.
If you're interested, you have to make time.
Yeah, not
Sounds
just
like
interested, but yeah, if you call yourself, wanting to just be in that person's presence and want the same, you have to give to receive. You don't have nothing on 199 either?
I do have some.
Oh, you do have one on that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Plenty of Egyptian customs and approaches to life got into the hearts and minds of Israel. I believe this is close to it. So Israel began to identify itself with its oppressors because that is precisely what abused, downtrodden, and exploited people do when left in a negative environment too long. That just really, really got my attention. The company that we keep, the things that those we are around do have a way of influencing us. And so we have to really be watchful of what company we allow ourselves to be around, because there are some things that you're okay doing that I just can't be okay with doing, and maybe vice versa. And it does depend on how we were raised, but then also how we learn as we evolve and as we grow. We understand that certain things are acceptable and other things are just not acceptable, and that it is all really your personal based on your personal values and beliefs. And so for the children of Israel, God has set them apart. And so to get into the Egyptian economy and start to adopt their ways and customs, God had to take some time to get that out of them. And so I thought that was very important to realize there's some things in us, some ways in us that we learn in our families and growing up that just are not right, and that are not according to what God would have for how he would have for us to live, the way we treat others and things like that. That he's got to break out of us. And so it's all a part of this process. All right, I'm at page 200.
That made me think about growing up. You kind of get this custom of what happens in this house stays in this house.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the wrong way to teach a child.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it is. Being a teacher, I think about sometimes when my kids wait to get to school to just unleash all of their mom's business to me. You know what I'm saying? And I just know so much of their
Do they unleash you now?
I just know so much of their mama's business, and their mamas have no idea.
Oh no.
But that's because this generation is not being taught what we were taught. You know what I'm saying? We were taught that don't tell your mama's business. We knew better than to do that. Mm-hmm. These kids don't know better than to do that. They hear their mama saying it, they're going to repeat it,
Oh God.
But that also, what you think about what happens in this house stays in this house and things like that, of how many people have had abuse and different things like that going on because they couldn't say anything because they were taught, or if somebody in their family knew, then they couldn't say nothing to protect the uncle or the cousin, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever. I think that's a bad way of teaching our children. I think that's a bad way that we grew up. And I think that played a part into our adulthood too, of not knowing who to talk to and not knowing what to say and what not to say, because you always have to hold those things in.
Okay, JaeTae, yeah, you better come on and share with us today. So page 200, have you been down so long that you have promised yourself that you would never hope again? Oh my gosh, just thinking about knowing that low place where you just feel that beaten down, that disappointed, that discouraged by life, that you just feel like, there's no need in me even trying to hope again, getting this expectation up to have to feel this type of disappointment ever again. Life can truly make you feel that way, and unless you've ever felt that way, you can't even begin to understand how it feels to feel that low, that you don't want to hope again because something has happened that has made you feel that defeated about life. That is a different low place. And I think about Apostle Drew Shaw wrote a song entitled Rock Bottom. I've been there. When it's not until you have really hit rock bottom and you've understood what that feels like, how that, and for each person that's different. But when you feel like you've hit your personal rock bottom and you're at a point where a day in your life you say, God, if you don't wake me up tomorrow, I'll be happy with that. I'll be grateful for that. In fact, please don't wake me up. If I'm going to continue having life like this, I don't want to get up again. But then God brings you through, then there is something that shifts in you, and you know that this life has to be for a purpose. And so then you're able to overcome and be grateful to have hope again. But just having ever gotten to that place where you lost it and felt like there was no other reason to live or to keep going. Thank God for the privilege to move past that. But it's just the thought, that a person can be down so long that we lose hope. Lord have mercy.
I think that feeling comes from desires, wanting something for so long and
Oh yeah.
like seeing it like in your face, and it's like right there, you can see it, you can taste it, but you can, you pretty much can feel it, but you can't get to it. That makes you get that feeling of being so hopeless, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I actually had the same thing highlighted on 200, if that's what you're waiting for. But I go on over to 201 to the
Me
next
too.
paragraph.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, definitely. But to the next paragraph. You won't dream again. You won't believe in God, believe God again. You feel your heart being torn into pieces just like it was the last time it crossed your mind to anticipate and wish for something better. You have begun to identify yourself by your pain and consider your dysfunction and distress as normal. God never intended for your temporary to be your eternity. Ooh, and we. That it begun to identify yourself by your pain and consider your dysfunction and distress as normal, really. I just keep thinking, it's like certain things in my life that I just think about that I feel like are distressful and dysfunction that needs to be corrected. And it just needs to be corrected. And so what do you do when it seems like that dysfunction and distress and all this pain and all this other stuff has just become a normal part of your life? This is just your life. Oh my gosh, what a way to live, you know what I'm saying? And it seemed honestly that it seemed like that's just the way that you have to live life, and there's got to be something better than that. Dysfunction and distress, Shantae, hello?
I was thinking about prayers that we pray. Do we, when we go down on our knees or when we pray wherever we are and we ask God for things, do we actually believe that He can do it and He's going to do it, or do we have that dysfunctional already set in? Like, I'm gonna pray for it, although I really don't know if it's gonna happen because it ain't happened by now.
Wing. Wing.
What's the point of praying for things at times, I wonder? Jay said a comment last night about his birthday that he didn't want to know. I can't remember how he said it. Something about the details for this disappointment or something. And is that how you said it? And it made me think about, I wasn't actually thinking about this part, but I was thinking about all the times when you plan something and you want something to happen and you already have it said, Jay already have the dysfunction setting. Oh Lord, I already got it said that he's gonna be disappointed. I don't know what other D word Bishop said, but I'm saying dysfunction and disappointment because of the past. And that's what we do. We hold on, we let that fester, and it has grown from all the other events that have been planned. So he's already looking forward to a dysfunctional event. Oh,
Lord help us. Please help us, Lord mercy.
But that's something that we do as human. Jay already got that in his mind because of the past, and that's what we do. We transfer thing to thing to thing to thing. No matter how God may work us to certain thing out, He's remembering what happened in the past.
Lord have mercy. And
I just used a birthday as an example because that's what just came to my mind because that conversation just happened last night. But that's literally what we do. Do we really expect God to do what He said He can do?
You know what? And as you said that, I was thinking, what do we have to celebrate? I mean, it is another year, but what do we have to celebrate? But you know what? The truth is, I survived again. So that is enough reason to celebrate. It's so many things that could have happened that did not happen And we have a reason, we have another opportunity to celebrate and a reason to celebrate. So why not celebrate? You know,
Don't tell me that.
I'm trying to
Tell
come,
the dysfunction.
I'm trying to come along.
Yeah.
I'm working.
Yeah. I think that, like I said, do we actually believe that God's going to do what he said, what he promised? Not what he said, but what he promised us. I don't know sometimes that I believe it, honestly.
Okay, so what are the promises you're thinking about?
What do you mean? For you?
Promises that he has made us. That's what you just said.
I mean, personal things, but
Personal things.
yes.
That personal promises that he has made us.
Yes.
Such as what?
God has promised to make us the lender and not the borrower, the head and not the tail. So I expect, those things, no matter how you see or how you feel, God made a promise that we will be whole. I expect these things.
Okay.
So although it doesn't look like it doesn't feel like it, it makes me think about, once again, when things happen, should I immediately say, oh, God got this because he promised it? Or should we go into a frantic like we do? That's a question.
I mean, honestly, we already know that the answer is to trust God and to know that he is able. We know that it is a truth. And I think that's one of the things about life, that the truth is there have been times I prayed and there was no answer, and I'm still waiting on some things. And there are also some things that have been said no, so I'm not sure if God is going to come through. What I do know that if he doesn't, he is able. That's the difference. Now that is the difference. And there are something. Oh God. Mm-hmm.
How does it make you feel? Knowing that he's able and he said no.
That's when you have to trust in his sovereign will, even though we may not fully understand why he would say no. What would even I think about the kidney situation, that okay, God, I'm perfect ground. I am a perfect candidate for you to work a miracle. I know that you're able to work a miracle. And so then these months that I'm off of the machine, I'm just trusting that some way you are turning it around, that if flow is going to increase and everything it's going to start back cleaning. And it doesn't happen. You have to return back, and it seems like they're saying things are worse, and now you're talking about a transplant. No, that does not look like, you know what I'm saying, what I would expect in a God situation. But if he didn't allow it, there has to be a purpose. And so all I can do is continue to get up and show up on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that's just, just my thought and trying to relate it into the question that I'm hearing you answer or ask, because it's not easy. There are things that we want to believe God for, and believe that if nothing else, he is able to do it. That the ability for that to happen exists. The option for that to happen exists. However, if it is not, there has to be a divine purpose for it, in which we just don't get it. We just don't get it at this time, and in fact, may never get it. Even though I'm continually praying for insight, I want foresight, I want to understand, I want discernment, what is going on. Some things we just, have to accept. It seems like that we just have to accept that it is what it is. All right. Anything else?
I have comments about that, but I'm just.
Oh, well, this is what we're here for.
No, I just.
Oh, God. So you'll tell us that you have comments to then, just so you can let it go.
Yeah, because I don't want to feel like a bad person.
Oh
Or
God.
my thought. So I just.
Well, isn't that what we, oh gosh, JaeTae. Conversations about life.
Well, it's
Okay.
not about life, it's just, what is, I guess it is about life. I guess it's just, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like you said, I just, gotta pray for insight, foresight, wisdom, and understanding, for sure. I guess it's how the questions will be answered.
Okay. Well, y'all, please help me fill up the keys. Please, please, please. All 88 keys are available for you to help us reach our goal. Help us reach our goal and be so grateful. I'm going to frame this and hang this up to remember those of you who have helped us reach our goal. In fact, I think I'm going to start the first person. Y'all, this kind of looked like it's got to be more than 88 keys. But anyway, I'm going to start at middle C. Whoever is our first person is going to start at middle C. And then we'll start spreading out and going each direction until the board is filled. So, all right, who is C4? All right, God bless you all. Thank you.
C4, that's the key.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know the key, so okay.
All right, thank y'all so much for joining us for the JaeTae Show.
Good night.
It's the JaeTae Show.